You do it for Randolph Scott.
Randolph Scott.
All right, Sheriff. 24 hours.
Randolph Scott, revealing facts. The son of Lucy Lineberg Crane and George Grant Scott. His ancestry included German, Scottish, and English. Best friends were Cary Grant, Fred Astaire, and the Reverend Billy Graham. As a struggling actor in the late 20s, he met Howard Hughes on a golf course, which resulted in a bit part in 1929, and by the mid-30s he was in leading parts. His image from his westerns was an upright, outstanding sheriff or cowboy, was so strong that it was paid homage to in Mel Brooks's classic comedy Blazing Saddles, 1974, when the African-American sheriff asked the reluctant townspeople for their help in fighting the bad guys. They unanimously rejected him. However, when he says,
You do it for Randolph Scott.
a heavenly chorus in the background sings, Randolph Scott, and the townspeople changed their minds.
24 hours.
He was hired by Victor Fleming to coach Gary Cooper on speaking with a Virginia accent for the Virginian, 1929. In 1965, Mike Connolly reported that Scott was one of the wealthiest actors in the world, with real estate holdings in San Fernando and Palm Springs alone worth over $100 million. His face is rumoured to be the model for the Oakland Raiders logo. Remained close friends with Cary Grant until the day he died. When he heard of his old friend's death, he reportedly put his head in his hands and wept. He himself would die a little over 2 months afterwards. Was Margaret Mitchell's choice to play Ashley Wilkes in Gone with the Wind, 1939. Was the inspiration for the popular 1973 song, Whatever Happened to Randolph Scott.
Whatever happened to Randolph Scott, riding this trail alone? Whatever happened to Gene?
A top 20 country hit for the Statler brothers. Retired from acting at the age of 64 after the Sam Peckinpah Western, Ride the High Country, 1962, stated that movie acting no longer interested him. Rode a beautiful blonde sorrel horse named Stardust in many of his westerns. Scott served in France in World War I with the 2nd Trench Mortar Battalion, 19th Field Artillery. He was very ill with a weak heart and breathing problems in the final years of his life, and was hospitalized several times with pneumonia. Scott did not father any children, although he and his second wife adopted 2 children in 1950. He was scheduled to co-star once again with friend Cary Grant in Spawn of the North, 1938, but salacious rumours about the two caused Paramount to replace them with Henry Fonda and George Raft. Shortly after completing his Paramount contract, Scott opted not to re-sign and instead moved to Fox. Inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in 1975. From 1932 to 44, he lived with Cary Grant in a beach house known as the Bachelor Hall. The close friendship between Scott and Grant and the steady stream of women into and out of Bachelor Hall fed rumour mills for years. Many believed that Grant and Scott were lovers, and the women were arranged by the film studio for public effect. He was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6243 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California, on February 8, 1960. During the early 1950s, he was a consistent box office draw. In the annual Motion Picture Herald Top 10 polls, he ranked 10th in 1950, 8th in 1951, and again 10th in 1952. He was a conservative Republican and one of Hollywood's biggest supporters of Ronald Reagan as Governor of California. According to his adopted son, Chris Scott, in his book about his father, Randolph Scott wore a hearing aid during the last years of his life. Interred at Elmwood Cemetery, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA, just 4 blocks from his boyhood home at 312 West 10th Street. I hope you enjoyed the video Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.